Hello viewers, welcome to my Doctor Who themed YouTube channel, Who Ventures, and a very happy Halloween to you all. This is my review of Doctor Who Flux Series 13, Episode 1, The Halloween Apocalypse. So we started off with Carvanista, the dog boy, and I thought it sounded a bit like the Absorbaloff. And the Doctor and Yaz are handcuffed upside down on a grav bar over an acid ocean. Carvanista's already bugged off to Earth, but the Doctor blew up his droids with Nitro 9, which is a little nod to Ace there. And the Doctor's, she already had these handcuffs in a pocket. And previously, the Doctor and Yaz have been to a circus workshop. So they're flying on a big sonic stick thing, and it looks like a massive sonic, but it's called a grav bar, as I said. And the Doctor's shouting, release, release at these voice-activated handcuffs, but she's having a bit of trouble with it getting to recognise her voice. So she tries a Scottish accent. And then the grav bar splits in half, and Yaz is riding on one half, and the Doctor's riding on the other half, and then they fall off it and they fall down into the TARDIS console room, where there's a conveniently placed mattress which has pillows and ruffled bed sheets. I'm quite excited at that. And now we move to the opening titles, and we're in Liverpool 1820. And there's these two guys who look very Isambard Kingdom Brunel types, and there's some houses being built, and one of the guys is wondering what the other guy's creating. It's like got all these apparently eccentric designs, tunnels, and it's preparing for the cataclysmic, the impossible. So 201 years later, same place, Dan is leading some visitors around the Museum of Liverpool, and he's really enthusiastic about it. But then this woman called Di, she tells him off because he doesn't actually work there. But he's like really enthusiastic and wants to do tours around the museum. But they won't let him, which is a shame because I think he'd be really good at it. So Em and Di are going for drinks later. And then we're back in the TARDIS and the console's exploding. And the Doctor's got a psychic connection. And she's seeing these visions of this prisoner swarm guy, and then there's two women soldiers. One of them's called Ensign Tack, and this swarm guy actually escapes because he's meant to be like a prisoner or like secure, but he escapes and he paralyzes Ensign Tack, explodes there. Then he mentions the division. Then he sort of absorbs stuff about it into his head, and these crystally spiky things appear on his head. And then he dissolves the other soldier, and then he says through the psychic connection, trick or treat, Doctor. And then there's gloop coming out of the TARDIS crystals, but the Doctor and Yaz don't really know where it is. And then we're back with Dan, and he's at a food bank, and he works at this food bank. And Wilma, who also works at the food bank, wants him to take a can of soup at least, but he's too proud to take some of the food. So then while he's talking to Wilma, the door is big wide open, and Wilma sees someone spying on him. And then cutscene, and it's trick or treat, and the trick or treat kids turn up at Dan's house, and he gives them some sweets and stuff, tells them stay safe. And then he shuts the door, and then there's another knock on the door, and this guy shows up, and he's got eggs, and I think man with eggs, man with chips, and salad guy should have a spin-off because that'd be real funny. And then we see Dan opening these cupboards, and he's literally got no food in. And then Axe comes through the door, and the Lipari, which is Carvanista, he comes in, and Dan's not cooperating. He thinks it's Halloween costume, and he strokes his fur and beeps him on the nose, and it's really funny. And he says, and then Corvinista says something about my forebears, and Dan says, you don't look anything like forebears. And then the Doctor lands TARDIS on the street, and she's like really excited because it's the Klopp era of football. And they enter Dan's house, and then they find the square leftover slime from the stun cube, and the Doctor tastes it, and that's how she knows it's a stun cube stuff. And then the Doctor's checking where Dan is through Dan's laptop, and there's 7 billion Lipari ships coming to Earth, so she thinks it's a big invasion. And then she's wondering, like, how come Dan, who's got no food in his cupboards, has got a big fancy computer? Well, it's a little flashy laptop. And then they realise it's space tech, it's not his stuff. And then the whole house, his whole house shrinks, and it's really cute. You got a little diggy house. And then we go to the Arctic, and there's a couple in a house. And then there's this space droid drone thingy in the garage, and the woman smashes it. And then we're back with Dan, and he wakes up in a cage, and Corvinista's taking Dan off-world on his spaceship. And then they have a bit of a conversation, and then the Doctor picks up Dan's mini house, and then they're just about to leave in the TARDIS again when a woman turns up. She's called Claire, and it's a bit of a copy of the Sally Sparrow thing, where she says, we'll meet in the past, but they haven't actually properly met each other yet. So, and then Yaz says, keep yourself safe, alright, or something like that. And then they go back, Yaz and the Doctor go back in the TARDIS, and the door's moved on the TARDIS. And it's like tilted. And then they're co-piloting the TARDIS, and then the Doctor wants to do a little MOT on her mind, because something niggled her, something got in her head. And then Yaz is getting annoyed because she's like, what, the Doctor's keeping secrets again. And then the Doctor says, I'll take you to amazing places, haven't you? And I thought that was fun because, like, with the Spaceport fan fiction and the official novels, to have like stories in between. But then it's also annoying because, like, been to amazing places, but Chibnall hasn't bothered to actually show us any of them. So it's just like, oh yeah, they've been there. It's like, I'm not going to show you though. So that's kind of annoying. And the Doctor's keeping secrets again. Then we're back with this Claire woman, and she sees a weeping angel in the street, and she tries to open her front door, but unfortunately she blinks because she drops the keys, and then she eventually gets the door open, but then the angel gets her because she can't not blink any longer. And then we get to meet Vinder, and he's on Outpost Rose. And he's on a spaceship called Rose. That's sweet. Then so Commander Vinder is making a report to the computer thing. There's an anomaly in space, and it's this big red clouds, and a planet dissolves. And then there's the house on the beach, and the swarm dude's inside it, and he dissolves the man. And then the woman is called Jan and dissolves, but then she turns into the swarm's sister. And then the Doctor and Yaz land on Corvinista's spaceship, and the Doctor says, I've got a bone to pick with you. And meanwhile, Yaz is busy getting Dan out of the cage, and she uses her experience of apparently being in lots of cages to figure out there's loads of booby traps on the cage, and she sort of fills Dan in on the Doctor and that they're human and that they've come to rescue him. Then Corvinista's a division operative, and the Lupars are actually doggos, and they are. Every Lupar doggo is assigned a human to rescue. So all the Lupari ships are actually going to save the humans from the flux, which is destroying the universe and making planets fold in on themselves. something is erasing the galaxy. So Vinda manages to escape, and the Doctor makes the Lupari ships unite into a shield pattern that can protect the Earth, and they run to the TARDIS, and the door is now on the floor of the TARDIS. So that's something a bit different about the TARDIS, I guess. And then the Doctor gives Dan his little mini house back. And then we see a caption, 30 trillion light years away, and it's the new Centaurians. And the commander guys talking to the hologram of the psychic Ragar, and they're all like, oh, there's the galaxy's being destroyed. Oh, we get to have a fight. And then they do this tongue thing. They go, oh, it was hilarious. That was like totally unnecessary, but hilarious. And I quite like the new design because it's like the old design, but kind of updated. I kind of like it. I think it's funny. And then the TARDIS brings the Doctor and the gang to the edge of the Milky Way, and the Doctor's like, yeah, whatever. And Dan's seeing out the TARDIS like, it's not whatever, it's space. And then the cloister bell starts chiming. The flux is encroaching. Then we zoom into the Doctor's eye and we see a planet is destroyed, and the Doctor can feel the universe breaking, and the Doctor's like, and so Yaz holds on to it, and Dan does too. And then the swarm guy meets the Doctor, and he knows the Doctor. Apparently they've been fighting through time and space, but the Doctor doesn't really know who he is. And the flux is coming for the TARDIS. The TARDIS decides to take the TARDIS to Earth. And then we see Diane waiting for a drink with Dan. But Dan's late, and Diane stood in front of this really creepy house, and a voice is calling Diane into the creepy house. So she goes through the door, and then she's in this like sea-type place. She's in with this swarm woman. And then the Lupari ship's creating a protective structure around the Earth. And I thought, I wonder if it's based on the Buckminster Fuller design. And then the TARDIS doors burst open, and the Doctor makes the TARDIS shoot vortex energy at the flux. But it doesn't stop the flux keeps coming. And then we see a recap of all the characters that have been introduced in that episode. And then we have the credits. So overall, I thought it was like lots going on, a good episode, some good jokes, and I like Carvin Easter, he's an awesome character, and I like the new Centaurians. So there's like we don't really, this is like, oh, what's happened? Oh no, now we've got to go find out how this has all happened. Doctor Who has had a lot of competition this year, especially from the new Marvel TV series. I have to say, I don't know if this because I was like, I don't know, I was mentally ill again, like all of September and some of October. So I don't know if this is because I'm feeling a bit flat, but I don't feel physically as hyped as I usually do. But I did really like Yaz and the Doctor. I was just like, it's a bit annoying that Chib says that, oh, they've been on loads of adventures, but I haven't shown you any of them. So it's like, just go straight in, and like we don't see, and it just not much development of the relationship, because it just like that apparently they've had all these adventures and the relationship doesn't seem to be that different. Yaz is a bit more confident, I guess, and she's a bit quicker at figuring out what to do. But other than that, nothing's changed really. I thought Dan so far is alright. It's alright. It's hard to judge really. I think I was more hyped about the Loki episode one than I was about this, but I do still really into Doctor Who and stuff. So I'm not sure I just don't feel like Tigger or really bouncy. Like when Matt Smith's first ever episode, I was like really excited and bouncy, but this is like, yeah, it's all right. And I still love Jodie's Doctor, and the stuff I still like Yaz, and Dan's okay, and it's all right. I just didn't feel as hyped or excited about it. But I do like the actress who plays Claire, because she was in Being Human. So, and it's just, I don't know if it was just that too much stuff just chucked at us, like here's a dog boy, here's a sun tyrant, here's a weeping angel. They're doing very little stuff. Oh, and here's Render, here's this, here's that. They're not really doing much, but here they are. So it wasn't really, it was like, yeah, here's your character, here's who you're playing with this time. Here's your characters. I don't know. We'll have to see what the rest of the fans think. And I hope people enjoyed it and stuff. So here are my notes for the episode. I hope you have enjoyed this review, and thank you for watching. Yay!